First thing, if your virtual machine is not working, that's not a problem for me. I don't have anything concrete to do, but I will try to make you work a little bit, though, and I will try not to work too much. I know many people in this room. Just to introduce myself, I'm running product and marketing at Easy. So I'm working very closely with André and all the engineering team. I was doing mostly product till this summer. And if you're not aware, maybe you knew Nicola Pastorino, who just decided to jump on a new opportunity, new challenge. So I took over Nicola as well on community things and on marketing things. So I'm running product marketing and community somehow. After this talk, please feel free to reach out to me if you want. I'm available. I'm there till I think the boat trip on Saturday. And yeah, we're going to talk backlog and how we do things at Easy. Before that, I just would like to get a little bit of understanding of who is in the room. So, who is I would say, legacy developer? Easy Publish legacy. All right, so it's still majority. Who is a Symfony developer without any knowledge on Easy Publish or very tiny one? Okay. And so who is just a Symfony Easy Publish 5 developer? No, just Easy Publish 5. I know you did some. Not 4. You don't know legacy, you just know. Interesting. So it means people know only Easy Publish 5 now. It's getting better. I'll start with a few slides, but then we'll get to concrete things. And I don't know how it will work, but we will try. I wanted to find post-its. I couldn't find post-its yesterday or this morning, so I will do without. Just a few things first about Easy and how we work today. First, in terms of geolocation. Alexander always say now, design in Brooklyn, engineered in Europe. This is a little bit of a slogan, and it's a little bit catchphrase, or I don't really know. But the reality is that indeed, the Lyon team, including André, who moved to Lyon, they are all in charge of the platform, of the open source platform. They are the drive for the open source platform, Easy Publish 5. We have now a team in Poland, Katowice. It's Katowice, I don't know, yeah. It's a team who is in charge of all our commercial products and services that we build on top of the platform. And in Brooklyn, we are building a team with UXers and designers, and also marketing, but that's something else. And that's a little bit where we are located, and we are hiring in different positions. Now, just a few words about what we do, how we work, and please, especially André, feel free to contradict me because you're the boss in that aspect, which is more about methodology. We try to work iterative. That's not, I mean, everybody does that now. Started with Scrum, I remember, a few years ago. We jumped to Kanban. We do something that we call Scrumban. I don't know if there is a definition about it, and we always try to adapt. Recently, I don't know who introduced this. I guess André again. We try to work using BDD, behavior-driven development, and I think this is a global wave in the software development industry. I think the Silius guys who are here, they are doing a lot of that as well. I like to say, I think as a product manager, the value in BDD is more when you phrase it as specification by example, and I didn't really invented this. This is some guru from BDD, what's his name?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
You have the same second problem than me. Once I get the name, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, it's very important. So, who is fluent with Scrum here? And Kanban? Anybody does waterfall? Just checking if people are raising hand just because I ask a question.
Sometimes. We do it sometimes within Scrum.
Within Scrum.
What is Scrumban?
Then Scrumban is well, I will make this session interactive. So I would say Scrumban is a combination of both. You need to be flexible, and for instance, there's a lot of things in Scrum which are a little bit rigid. When you assign stories, it should be before the sprint. And I think if you take some freedom, you can also assign stories during the sprint and have a little bit more flexible input queue or ways to feed the sprint with stories and priority. So my understanding is that Scrumban is a little bit leaner than Scrum because there's even less buffer. My understanding also, or my feedback as a product manager is that I see a tremendous value in Scrum because you are forced to have this checkpoint every 2 weeks or every month with your development team where you can see the states of things. When you do Kanban, it's more continuous, so you can somehow lose track because you don't have these, handshakes. But I don't know if you have a definition for Scrumban, Andre.
Well, ban is at least that you have limits, so that's very clear. You have limits on the different steps on your process, if it's the input queue or if it's the development step. So you make sure people are not working on several things at the same time and that the PM is not pushing too many things in the input queue. But given it's also called Scrum, I think it's a long time since I read about it, but you do it iteratively. So you do it like one planning, like you said, once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then but it depends, it's up to you. You can adapt it to your needs. But I think you're not supposed to combine 2 weeks iterative handshake plus PM also pushing more stories, because then you have then you're not able to deliver what you're supposed to deliver. You need to pick one out of the other.
So yeah, it's kind of a hybrid approach, mixing things. So for me, it means a little bit more freedom, and I like it. Yeah. So everybody knows it. I won't spend too much time on Scrum by the book, but just to say we have a product backlog. That's the topic of this presentation, and we kind of take the higher part of this backlog to feed our iteration. So here it's called a Spring backlog. You can call this an input queue, and then we work at easy. Most of the time we do a 2 weeks sprint, but actually we've been a little bit trying different things. We've been thinking doing 1 week. We did 1 month, and this is something we feel quite okay to play with, changing the length, also depending on the period. Like recently, August, a lot of people are not there. We are not a big team. We did a sprint of 1 month because just 2 weeks would not mean anything. So that's where also we take a little bit of freedom, and I think that's the only way you can well use a methodology is when you make it yours and adapt it to your own specificities. And you have, of course, the daily iteration where the engineering team is meeting every day. Yeah.
Only one warning: if you do this and change back and forth, you lose your rhythm. You're supposed to have a rhythm and continuous increase. So that's like one problem doing this. But when everyone is on vacation, there's nothing to demo often.
You lose your rhythm anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So, then at the end, actually, that's maybe the most important thing, and our feedback may be that it's also the most difficult thing. Each iteration should really be something shippable, something that you can actually push out and use. And I would say at Easy, that's where we need to put some more effort, because very often we have stories which are not totally shippable, and it's a tendency, everywhere. I don't know. Any feedback on that? Do you really do Scrum? So many of you are doing Scrum. Is it always shippable at the end of the sprint? Is it like No. So yeah. Well, my feedback is that that's maybe the most difficult thing for us. But we'll work on this. We'll work on this, and a little bit like what we try to. The message we try to give to our customers when they buy Easy is that Easy is a platform, and the way you build website now or project or applications is not like waterfall. You do a project, you're done, the project is finished, but it's really something which continuously iterates. So both on the content lifecycle or on the application side, you basically create a first version, you deliver this to the customer, you optimize, get feedback, and iterate on this. That's very important, because bottom line, we'll never get it perfectly right, and we need to always try to improve. BDD, again, speaking a little bit about that, why I think it's, why I think we need to push forward in this direction at Easy, and I would love any feedback from any of you who are using it. It's because mostly we call it like spec by example. Spec by example forces you to discuss with the developers, take the concrete example and not be in a theoretical world, but more discuss the concrete example instead of being very theoretic and writing long specs that only you understand and that nobody really, maybe some people understand them, but they don't understand them the same way you wrote them, so you don't have the same understanding. So by writing behaviors which are example of how to use the system, you basically will force discussions between all the stakeholders in the team, from the product owner that I represent today, to QA team, to developers, to anybody involved actually, business analysts and so on. And I think we have a tendency to write too much. Developers have a tendency to ask for spec, and which is legitimate. The problem is it's not always solving the question, and what I think we should encourage always more is discussions. So that's one of the reasons I like BDD. But I didn't ask, who does BDD here? That's quite fairly new. So, do you do it fully, like automating the BDD or process? When you mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. At Easy, we are in the process of implementing the automation and the automation of BDD testing. But even without this, I think it's valuable to just work on the behavior and the examples and communicate this to the team.
But how do you think it will replace the TDD? Will it replace it completely, or it will be just on top of the TDD? You mean test-driven development?
Well, I'm
planning on replacing test-driven development with BDD, like BHAT features and stuff, or it's just going to be on top of it?
So, to me, BDD is an evolution of TDD. Some people might think differently, but that's how I like to see it. But thinking about the test first is one step, but I think a step forward is to think about really what you want the system that you're building to achieve, and this is the behavior of the system when it's confronted to the inputs from the users and from other systems. And so basically BDD gives you TDD, but it's one step before. So it has more meaning. Then the other thing is BDD doesn't replace automating all the tests. So of course you still have to do unit testing, and I don't know exactly if we do it, but definitely it's good to write the unit testing before developing the features.
Yeah, so some people say TDD is TDD done right, but it doesn't mean that TDD is out. TDD is a design process, so you need to think about how you design your code. So it's more of a developer thing. You don't involve QA so much in that. You definitely don't involve product owner in the TDD. So that's more for the BDD.
Yeah. What I understood is that BDD is basically for business. I mean, not basically, but it's also understandable and comprehensible for the business itself. So yes. even if project managers without any knowledge of the code can understand exactly what should be happening in the code, but TDD is more meticulous and provides useful tests for your methods, your custom methods for something. So
exactly,
so it's not something that I feel like it will be replaced, and I'm somewhat missing TDD and in the Easy Publish codes actually. So I'm seeing that they are being replaced by BHAT features.
Well, I let André answer that, but first it's really just a small comment before. You're totally right. It's a different granularity. And we really do both, though. But me, I'm not so exposed to TDD, because for me, at the end of the day, if the developer write the code and write the unit testing after or before, I really don't care. What I want is the behavior that we define to work so that we can accept the feature. Now, I think we do. I heard you saying we don't do TDD in easy
Yeah,
publish?
it's right. We don't use PHP spec, for instance, where you would very clearly do the spec before you do the code. So I would recommend anyone to consider going to the talks on that, including myself. But we use PHP unit. We use it on two levels. We have integration tests, which is like testing the whole application from API and out. And we use unit tests, which are not supposed to do that testing with database.
I see, okay.
So we have tests, but yes, we are not speccing the code upfront. That's true.
Okay.
So that's a little bit on how we work. And if I go on this, because we don't want to be theoretical, we want examples. I take an example of a BDD scenario. Given I go to the Easy Summer Camp, and I attend Bertrand Dunogier and Jérôme Gaëdan sessions, when I do the tutorial with them and not just listen to them, I should improve my skills, my Easy Publish skills. And that's the kind of thing actually product owners should write, but should also discuss, because sometimes, I mean, they don't have all the, they are not the only one knowing how should behave the system. So beforehand, we should really discuss with developers, with any people involved, community or whatsoever, to defend these kind of things. And it's mostly my job, but not only. And the most important thing is to discuss. Do you think it's a good one? Or
If I take on my QA hat, which is where we have, but anyway, examples would be
examples?
like examples of which skills and what is improved.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely, but it's the first step. All right. A few more words on how we work, because we would like to involve more the community, the ecosystem, and we have not been the best at in our workflow where we take inputs from the community and from our customers. Honestly, it's it's a tough work, but just there are some things here which are which will move slightly. But the big ideas I want to share is we use different concepts. We use features for feature requests, but this is just on top of our process. Features are something that someone asks for. Typically, a customer will have a lot of feature requests. I will have a lot of feature requests because I see my market and I see where I want our product to go so that it's successful on the market. But from feature request, we can work on research, do wireframes, review this, and potentially accept or reject the feature. But that's not really, we don't really work at the feature level. Once a feature is accepted, we will really jump into stories. And the way we work every sprint with the engineering team is working on user stories and stories for the development team to implement. And this goes through a workflow which is moving a lot, but basically it's taken from a backlog that everybody, for the easy publish part, the open source part, everybody can see it. And it's taken from this backlog, moved to an input queue, and every sprint we work on implementing this. And actually, at the same time, we should work on the acceptance, on the QA, on the testing, based on the BDD that we just that I just spoke about. This is something we are trying to improve now. We are not fully yet there, but we are really working on this. And at the same time, we should result with documentation before accepting and verifying this. And this should be the end, actually, of the story and the sprint. And that's very difficult because very often, very honestly, documentation and testing is not necessarily here. And at the end of the sprint, we are more just done with implementation. But that's the workflow we want for our stories. And then it's moved to maintenance. So this is all based on tools, tools that you know. And it's mostly Jira. So I guess everybody has an account on share.easy.no, or yes, no? Who has no account? No, that's good. No, who has accounts? Who has one account? There's one who has no account. Who has many accounts? Because I know some people have.
You don't need specific account in Jira, you just need the one for share.easy.no, it's the same.
Yeah. This being said, even if you don't, you can actually go browse these filters because they also work anonymous. And this is just a filter with all the features. And we have another one with which is really the backlog, which put the backlog in the priority, ordered by priority, and the priority is mostly PM, but also discussing with engineering for technical stories, basically. And this is really available. And from there, you would get links to GitHub and so on, and you could potentially collaborate with us during the sprints and get news about what's coming next sprint. So we really hope to collaborate more at this level with anybody in the ecosystem. Something that will really help is that, I don't know if you, I won't talk so much about roadmap, so, but I can take questions if you have, so we will see. But from after 5.4, we will have easy platform, one single open source foundation. So we will build only one project. We won't have community project and enterprise project. We will have one single code base, which is easy platform. On top of this, easy will build commercial products because we still need, you know, to that's our living. We need to make a difference from the open source base. But the big difference is that it's not anymore two different things. It's not anymore two different build processes, and it's not two different, I would say, two parallel tracks, but it's the same one. So hopefully it will improve a lot contributions and collaboration with the community. Is that clear? Was it clear? Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Huh? Okay, I'm happy to discuss if you think it's not good. I think it's great because it will simplify all our process. Like the platform will be more open source than it was, basically. We also use boards, but that's internally. And now I want to talk about backlog. When I think about backlog, I think about my kitchen. That's how I would like my kitchen most of the time. I must confess, sometimes it's a little bit more like this. Easy Publish backlog actually today is a little bit more like this, to be honest. But backlog is something living, and we have to deal with that. And I don't want, during this session, actually, to work on the current backlog, because this is too messy and you would not like it, and there are too many issues. I just want us to dive in a new backlog, actually. So I would like, basically, to get your feedback. I'm product manager, and the best thing for me is to get feedback from you on features and what you think is important. So this is where we really enter the workshop time. Quickly, Easy Publish has three persona. This is very simplifying things, but Easy is used for different things. We have end users, what we call customer experience. These guys like Ivo, who is a tourist, is visiting Rovinj, is using the Easy Summer Camp website. This is the end user. He must find the Easy Summer Camp website attractive, following the best practice on the web. Excuse me, Ivo. And that's persona number one, end users. We have persona number two, which is Igor. Actually, Igor is content marketer. He's writing all the content which is on Easy Summer Camp 2014, easysummercamp.com. And the third one is Petar. Petar is a web developer. He's the guy who made the site, basically. And this is oversimplifying, but these are really the three population we deal with Easy. And the last 10 years, very honestly, we put very low attention to editors. We put quite some love for developers, but they always need more. And end users, it's actually more about partners than us, but we would like to improve things like demo website, things like examples, so that people can understand we can make awesome websites with Easy and not just rely on our partners to show this. So I think we need to improve everything here at Easy, and we need to find the right balance. Of course, editor experience is way behind, so we put some energy now to rework the editorial interface, as you know, but it doesn't mean the other ones are not important. All of them are important. And so what I would like to do now is just to do a real workshop and to split the team here, not use laptop or just to take notes. And I would like basically to split the people here in 3 groups and take 20 minutes so that each 3 groups come with 5 feature requests, and if possible with underlying stories, but you don't have to go in detail. And then come and present and just tell what are the stories, what are the features they think would be good to represent each persona. So basically, I don't know how many we are. What? We are something like 30, well, more than what you said actually. We have 35 maybe. Can we split in 3 groups? This will be end user, this would be marketers and editors, and this would be developers. Who wants to be on the end user side? This is a workshop. If you don't participate, you won't learn anything. No? Yeah, should we keep it like this? Well, the problem is this guy needs to change, so this, okay, let's say, I think you guys are mostly developers, so I will say this is the marketer group, including you, and this is the end user group, and you guys can work all together also. Yeah, that will be good. And the idea is we spend 20 minutes, I think we brought pen. I don't know if you have paper, but if you don't have paper, just take your editor on your laptop. We want one product owner for each group, so I will start here. Who wants to be product owner for end users? Igor?
Volunteering?
Yeah, good.
I need to do my workshop.
Okay, good. Who wants to be product owner with developers? I don't want to name volunteers. Come on. Eke, I feel like you made a sign. You did this. Peter, do you want to change? No.
No, I'm a Turkey.
Okay, I mean, I will fall back to André. Who want to be product owner for end users? Sylvain? Okay, no, I will be nice. Nicolas? Sylvain. Okay, let's do that. We take 20 minutes and I will jump from group to group. You can stand. Actually, it's better for, thinking. And the product owner must take notes and come on the stage and just name the 5 features. All right? Just to see. Also, what I don't say is that after that, we prioritize, but also I put them in the backlog, and I really would prioritize if anyone comes with a strong feature. So I know some people have some issues with Easy Publish, and that's a good time to mention them. All right? We don't.
Well, first, should we try to sit very close together somewhere?
I'll go with the end user to start with, because you are not enough.
What comes to mind first as a feature you would like to see in this, like high priority?
The second thing is
You will come present them. I will take notes. All right. So I think we'll start with end users. So I need the product owner, the end users. And I will try to write this down on my laptop at the same time. So just taking notes. We will prioritize together. And yeah. So what did you get?
First suggestion is native social logins.
Social logins. All right.
Okay.
What? I don't know. Is it okay? Everybody understand what should be tested, or?
Especially GitHub.
I mean, that's good to mention.
One developer group.
Share the.
That's a good one. What are the social networks that you want? GitHub? But yeah, I know. MySpace? No.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter.
All right. I think that's clear enough. That's a feature. It's not the story, but
I would say more globally, Janwen and Giga, because there are many external platforms who provide this cross single sign-on mechanism. I know JMV don't build in this English for Janwen.
yeah,
Because it doesn't provide only the single sign-on, it provides many other tools.
Indeed. Yeah.
To follow the.
I think it's like this. Yeah. Yeah. This is what the Museum of Natural History uses with Easy, actually. Yeah.
You can create forms, registration forms, also with these tools.
Yeah.
Not only the login.
Yeah, but I guess we have the feature, and next step is actually to discuss it and to derive it in stories, but we won't do this today. But yeah, let's go forward, because we have 22 minutes now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
As an end user, I want to have a good order management in the shop module of the Easy Publish.
Okay. That's interesting.
Also on shop.
Is that the third one? Third. Yeah.
Third,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I want to have out of the box connectors with shop platforms such as Magento or PrestaShop.
Okay. PrestaShop, is that really?
It's just custom.
Yeah, I was kind of. Okay, I mean, he decided, he's product owner. You can. Yeah, I know. But it may be not something you would call a connector. It might be building something like a Symfony application with both. Or, yeah. Yeah.
I want to have a better accessibility in the demo bundle.
In the demo bundle. And did you mention anything? Like, I don't know so much about norms, but yeah, actually I knew. AA.
I also want to see micro formats on schema.org on demo bundle.
Format schema.org and demo bundle. Yeah.
As a end user, I want to see localized content depending on my browser language or
We are 6, so let's go to 7. You have to choose, but yeah, not more.
okay.
You should not put too much features in the backlog, otherwise Andre comes and is grumpy.
We have a community today.
So it's related to localized content. It's subject to language, depending on geo IP or browser language.
Which, depending on geo IP or browser language. Okay, so it's a browsing language. It's to go to site access. Yeah. Okay.
It says suggest, not to automatically redirect.
I think it's on purpose. I think that's what it means. Yeah. 7. You have a 7.
Okay.
Autocomplete on search.
Oh. We used to have this, no? All right.
Out of the box.
Yeah. I mean, this, okay. Well, that's a good job. Is it your priority or no? It's not. We will need to prioritize later, right? Okay. All right. We'll take the next group, which are editors.
Actually, we were editors and marketers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Yeah, it's oversimplifying.
I can start with editors because it's a thing that we are already, I think, solving, but we have a few issues for those. So, as an editor, I would like to have a better user interface, but which is not that related to technical details such as classes, types of attributes, and so much developer-oriented user interface.
Related
Yeah.
to technical details.
It's a big one, yeah. Everybody is talking about it, so I have to mention it.
An idea. I don't really know, but I guess. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Also, the second one, which was mentioned, I would like to have a customizable user interface that I can tailor for my use case. So not everything is like out of the box. It's a big thing to ask for.
Use case. But isn't it customizable today, easy?
Maybe with a lot of effort, but we would like to have it cheaper.
What do you want to customize?
Like, for example, I don't know, if you have kind of micro workflow, something, you don't just edit an object, you just maybe if you do this, then this, or something like that. So it can be easier to train people to work with a specific use case. It's kind of, yeah.
There might be an editor who has to add only news once a day, and the news are automatically processed into various elements of the page, but he only wants to fill in the news and then go for that, go for it.
We can do it now, of course, in Easy Publish, but the idea is to have it like easier, not so expensive to do, because now we all build custom user interfaces, but there should be at least some kind of customization to put it into the default interface, to make it easier to do. It's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, I think I got the idea. We need to dive a little bit more, but yeah.
So these are the editors, editor picks. So the marketeer, we have a lot of talks here, but I will just mention 3. As a marketeer, I would like to have good default integrations to best-of-breed external tools like Salesforce. So not to be as expensive as it is right now, because you have to go to a specialized company which will develop it for you, and we want it for free.
Yeah.
We want it cheap, and
Yeah.
it's cheap.
I understand. Did other names came, or is it only mostly
a lot of names came, but I just Sugar CRM and best of breed tools, because we're using them and we don't want to pay a lot of extra money to integrate with our central content hub.
All right.
Publishes. The second thing would be we want to track users from CRM without, again, too expensive integrations and development efforts.
To track users to CRM?
Like their workflows, their browsing through the site and
user journey?
User journeys.
Yeah.
I think that.
This is the same on this one.
Yeah, okay.
It's a similar thing. And the last one touches with e-commerce. I would like to have a standard interface by which I can make any content viable, sellable. Especially in digital goods, if I'm selling like ebooks or content or whatever, I want to be using like specialized e-commerce solutions, but I want to easily sell digital items that I have entered to my CMS. So it would be like, again, better integration with some maybe external e-commerce solutions.
Okay.
Like Sirius or
Okay.
It's like, there are like fluffy things, a lot of space here, but these are the stuff that we can.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
This is not only digital assets, but also
Also products.
Click and mortar, like real product that would be shipped? Yeah, okay. Physical product. Okay.
The key is not to rely on an object. To have a product which might be anything.
Okay.
Something like dollar signs, like whatever.
Yeah, and we would like easily to sell it.
Yeah.
So
Makes
maybe
sense.
the product is another external product management system or whatever.
Yeah.
Should the users also be in this category? Sellable users?
Yeah. You know, when marketing company, they are selling user base, like contact base. I mean, I don't know why they do that. Nobody wants to buy them, but yeah.
We said any content, so users also.
Yeah, but the question is, it's user content or not?
Yeah. We need to move on because we have 13 minutes. So the third product owner, André.
You would have to correct me on this one. As a developer, I would like a...
Wait.
Sorry.
Take this.
To the mic.
Yeah.
Arne, you would need to correct me, but as a developer, I would like it to be easier to set up blocks and sounds. set of blocks and zones, or what specifically did you have in mind?
Yes, easier to make a flexible page.
Layout, basically.
Yeah.
That's funny because we discussed this extensively yesterday.
And we talked a lot about the user interface, and I had to stop it because it wasn't completely clear, but at least I think that's clear. It needs to be easier to set it
I
up.
think the problem with today's solution is that you basically need to override all the default templates to make it useful for the end user,
Mhm.
which takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, so you want to bring this to end users, or you want to give the editor the ability to do this.
Yes. I want a better out-of-the-box solution.
Yeah. So that would almost be actually an editor feature.
It's borderline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one is, as a developer, like a scheduling system for content. It was also mentioned for blocks. What this was mentioned as having timing events for start and
What do you mean?
mark
I want a
stop.
scheduling system for content and blocks.
Yeah, sorry, I'm digging into requirements here as well.
Yeah.
I can maybe skip them. But a scheduling system for being able to schedule events for content and blocks,
Okay.
or block items.
Maybe you should limit this requirement to just content.
Yeah, but it was very much about easy flow, so that would be wrong also.
Much more campaign.
Yeah, it was about campaign.
Yeah. This is almost very close to a marketer feature. Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's the underlying system for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
As a developer, I want a fast fetch.
Yeah. That's more of a developer experience feature request for me. A fast fetch. Yeah.
It wasn't specified if it was for content or location, but I guess we can assume it was location to some extent.
Yeah, somewhat that as well, but also filtering capabilities in the fetch. Filtering in the fetch.
Yeah, filtering,
Oh, filtering.
for the languages, which is currently not implemented, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Or was it something else on filtering?
No, it was just basically just fetches a bloated object with all sorts of stuff, but also it responds with all the languages included. So that was one of the reasons that it may be slower than we expect it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another thing is, as a developer, we want a workflow engine dealing with scheduling, rules and policies, events, and preferably a lot of built-in transitions or yeah, it was yeah.
Okay. I think I understand that. Yeah.
And there's three more.
Yeah.
Two of them can be matched together. I think it's about enabling rollbacks and more safe operations around content types and the user roles. Would that sum it up more or less for those who proposed it?
Arthur?
So better versioning for the content types, not only draft and publish, so that we...
Yeah, but is versioning what you need, or is it... That's the question here.
Yeah, my use case was the versioning, yeah, that we skip all the maintenance scripts we need to re-indexing everything and to running scripts for adding attributes to 1 million objects.
But is the base need you have deployment of content types?
Basically, yes. Yeah.
So enabling better deployment and rollback of content types would it be better? That's more generic, but then we would need.
Because if you say
specifications.
versions, we would have to take away a lot of it. It seems like then we would need to deal with it.
You have two different requirements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's the other one?
One is for the deployment and one is for the versioning.
So the other one is having versioning of content types. Is that the one?
Types and rows.
Okay. It's funny because we also discussed this yesterday actually, and there was
But yeah, so let's as I mentioned, we also mentioned that we discussed this yesterday. If this definition is on file system, you put it in Git, you can version as many as you want. Would that solve the use case?
This would be fine, yeah.
I'm a bit unsure how we can do that with the roles, because that's supposed to be editable from the interface.
But it's anyway not time for specification meeting, or
no.
We are we get the need.
The last one is about extending content types, so inheriting from others, reusing.
Did it come from you or
no? It came
really
on its own. As a developer, I would like to reuse, I guess, parts of a content type within another content type. Would that sum it up? Because the reason why I'm putting it like that is we talked about maybe having modeling,
exactly
it like traits yesterday.
Yeah.
So
we've also discussed that in making waves.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's funny. It's funny. There's a good match actually. Yeah. All right. Thank you, André. We have.
It's not ordered.
Yeah. We have just 5 minutes to go, and I guess we need to be sharp, right? Yeah. So we will take 5 minutes to vote on all of these, and one of the biggest thing is to balance different persona needs. Like if we want to prioritize everything in one backlog, I think it's too difficult. I just would like us to vote for each category and to try to have an order. I think everybody understood the features or the requirements. I would just ask one by one and raise your hand, and I would try to have a random idea. Yeah.
Should we have a limit how many you can vote for per category, so not everyone is like voting for everything?
One. Yeah. That.
Category per month.
Yeah.
What did you say?
One per category, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, one per category. I think that's strict, but we will see how it goes. And yeah. So, who wants to, in the demo bundle, to have native social logins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So here we rank 13. Who wants better order management and basket management in the shop module of Easy Publish? 1, 2, 3. Right. I don't check, but you vote only once. Huh? Okay. We will see. We will do the math after. Who wants, instead of that, more of a connector with like best of breed platform, Magento? All right. 5. Accessibility. I'm sorry. Schema.org. Oh, okay. 2. Okay. Schema.org. No, you voted twice. So, 1, 2, 3. You voted for it. Yeah. All right. Good. The local site access browsing facilitator, or like, I don't know, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think it looks like there's a strong one and then it's very tight. Autocomplete and search. 3. Okay. 4. Okay. So we got a winner, and then we need to make some orders into this, but I think we'll do this later because we have 3 minutes. Now we go for editors and marketers. We will take everything at the same time. As an editor, I would like to have a better user interface. That's a big epic, an epic of epics. Who wants this one?
Come on.
Okay, those 13, I think, more or less. Well, that's okay. Customizable interface by the editor and the marketer. Okay. Yeah, I think it can be delivered by the first one. Yeah. Integration with CRM and stuff like that. Salesforce, yes.
No votes left.
Just one. I guess I know who suggested this. And the user journey in the CRM? 2. Interesting. Standard interface for selling products, like some sort of new product information management system, or yeah.
Can I get the second vote?
You want to
I have 2 votes.
Okay, because you were product owner. That's a new rule. Product owner, I have 2 votes. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I'm more or less. Okay, that's fine. And now developers. Page layout. Better, I would say, manageable page layouts by editors and administrators. 2, 3, 4. Huh?
We need 5 votes on it.
No, we would go nowhere. So again, please raise your hand. I'm surprised. 1, Ivo was there. 3, 4, 5. Well, I mean, I should not say. Please do whatever you want. Scheduling system to create events for content and blogs. So this is kind of easy flow rework, or yeah.
Yeah, but also launch the workflow item, but yeah.
Nobody? Okay. 3. Fast fetch with filtering.
Raise your hands.
You use your... Okay, we are at 10. Workflow engine dealing with scheduling, rules and policies, and a lot of hooks. 3.
It's like everything and efficiency.
So that's enabling deployment and rollbacks of content types, I guess, like automated or scripted. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4. Versioning of content types and roles. Right? That's funny, yeah. And extending content types with inheritance and sharing part of content. Whoa. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9.5. That sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good outcome for me. It's great. First, I want to thank you for coming with this, because I didn't show my features, but I showed yours, and I think we got something very valuable here. It's really funny, to be honest. We had meetings yesterday with we have this innovation board, which is a group of customers, partners, and Easy, where we talk about like a little bit longer term innovation, where we should bring things. And there's a lot of overlap, and it seems like, especially on the DevX, and it seems like you didn't bring this.
I didn't propose anything.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. I think we are... we are almost there. I don't know. I don't think I have many other slides. This was just the thing. I wanted to finish with 10 minutes questions and answers for me and also Andre on the real roadmap and backlog, but actually this is part of it, because any occasion for us to get feedback on features, basically we try to translate this in the backlog. Do you guys have, we don't have much time, but do you have strong questions? We can take a few, otherwise we are around the Easy team the whole week, so we can always discuss with you features, requests, issues, roadmap, future.
Shall we open that?
I'm funny, nobody mentioned YUI, for instance.
We did internal.
Okay. Yeah?
I would like to know if it is planned to remove GUI and replace with feature.
To remove YUI?
The Yahoo GUI framework, for me it's pain in the ass, and I would like to...
YUI? By replacing by what?
By BigQuery or...
Okay, so today in our vision we decided to use YUI for the editorial interface only. But for the website, we don't, I mean, we used to have YUI part of Easy Webbing, but we don't think YUI is necessarily the way to go for a website. We think a website should be built with whatever you want. And jQuery, because it's so popular, should be number one. Like Bootstrap is the natural fit for the demo bundle. So from a product perspective, I don't think YUI should be in the demo bundle because YUI now is belong to history almost. So yeah.
The short answer, we decided to eventually we will remove it from the front end quite some time ago, and we will definitely do that now with Yahoo News. So it's more about how we transition the backend over time to not use Yahoo. That is a much bigger challenge because we have already been working 1 year on the backend, the new one with Yahoo.
I started a year ago with Easy Publish, and I have started with the demo bundle.
Yeah.
And the first 2 months I replaced all the GUI stuff with jQuery.
Yeah.
Pull request, welcome.
Yeah. No, very much. And in the front end and the demo bundle, we really don't want it. Now on the editorial interface, I mean, we also might keep some part of it. We don't know. It's still mature and stable, so there's a good questioning for us to know if we want to remove it from the editorial interface, but it's not a so obvious question, actually.
Yeah, so we're not going to panic. It's a super stable library. It's going to stay stable. There's a huge community around it, so it's going to get contributions. But it's clear that we don't want to stay on this for the next 10 years. So we need to think about, right now we don't need to think about what we want to transition to because the whole space is moving so fast. In 2 years you might not have Angular anymore, for instance. That's of course putting things on the edge, but yeah, so we will try to loosen our dependency on Yahoo slowly. And in the end, we will find a replacement.
And surely, if it's not clear to everyone on the front end and the website, we don't need YUI. We want to remove it. Yeah. Other questions for now? Or is it time for coffee? Yeah.
I'm not going to bash on performance. Another question is Oracle support.
Yeah.
You dropped it.
Yeah.
Why? There are so many enterprise customers who use Oracle.
We dropped it due to bandwidth at a time where priority was for us to focus on removing dependencies and legacy and so on. Now the plan is, because we embraced doctrine, the plan is when we go to the next generation and we don't have legacy anymore, is to support it again thanks to Symfony.
So technically we can already...
The legacy migration part for Oracle is kind of broken.
Yeah, you can only go to 5.1 and then you would need to do a direct upgrade to 6.
Yeah. But maybe we can work on this actually. I don't say we won't, but it's just a question of priority actually, really. So.
Yes.
So what would be the answer to the enterprise customers at the level?
I mean, it depends on the context. Honestly, there are more and more enterprise customers that don't love when I tell them that MySQL is owned by Oracle. I mean, no, there's a much bigger acceptance of MySQL now in enterprise. I mean, that's clear. Then I think they need to understand it's a solution, and they need to understand they need to go beyond their current comfortable IT processes and the comfort zone. But I understand it can be blocker on some occasions. It was a hard prioritization for sure. We would like to support everything, but we can't.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but if one of the partners want to pick up and support Oracle for some customers on 5.3 or something like that,
absolutely.
I don't think there's anything technically stopping that. It's just that it was taking a lot of time for us, and time we wanted to spend on other things for the time being. But with the 6 stack, it's much easier. So the only thing we're missing now is having continuous tests on Oracle to make sure everything works. Specifically the integration tests.
So with the next generation, we'll more easily go there. Now we have this bridge with legacy, and absolutely support the idea if some partners want to position themselves there and provide some sort of services and also contribute, collaborate with us. That's totally open, really more than welcome. I know some markets, especially the US, are quite demanding on Oracle, so it was a tough decision, but going fast to next generation was number one. And, yeah.
So we will talk one more.
Yeah. It's over. All right. So thank you again. You got my information details in case. Just let's talk during these 3 days or 4 days if I count the boat trip. And thank you.